Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our second WIN Fellowship event of the recently inaugurated cohort of 2025, Entrepreneurship and Innovation, How Saudi Women Are Leading the Way. I'm Dina Dabbous, Social Impact Manager at PepsiCo Middle East, and I'm thrilled to have you here today to celebrate the trailblazing Saudi women who are redefining innovation and entrepreneurship. For the past 3 years, PepsiCo has proudly supported the WIN Fellowship, which I'm personally very, very honored to have been working very closely on, because we believe in the essence of what this program truly offers, paving the way for Saudi women to break barriers in innovation. And for that, I would like to thank our esteemed partners from the Atlantic Council, the US Embassy, and the AmCham Women in Business Committee for bringing us here together. Tonight, we'll be hearing from our industry experts on how to navigate innovation and entrepreneurship, but we will also be listening from our fellows themselves on their real-life experience, how they're navigating it, how they're doing it, what's working and what's not. But before we start, please help me welcoming. It is my privilege to introduce Her Royal Highness, Ambassador to the United States, Princess Rima Al-Bandar bin Bandar Al Saud, a true advocate of women empowerment. She's here sharing her valuable thoughts and ideas for you young women to be inspired on how to truly lead the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. It's really a privilege and an honor for me to be here and join you. I'm sorry that I'm not in the room with you, but as you can see, the world has kind of taken over all of our schedules. And for anyone in the room who has anybody affected by the pain that we're all suffering across the Middle East, I send you my sincerest sympathies, and I hope that you're all keeping the faith and keeping strong. And so this cohort means a lot to me. I've been following the journey of the Atlantic Council and the WIN program on what has been, honestly, for me, something that is just so beautiful to see. The recognition of the amazing talent that exists in the kingdom that's being fostered by partners who truly believe and understand in the value of a woman, not just in the workplace, but in society and in community. So I'm very, very grateful for the Atlantic Council to make this program possible, and also for the American Embassy and all involved, and Ambassador Ratney for his true belief and faith in this program. So it's programs like this that show us that it's possible for both men and women to have economic participation, and for that to be an integral part of creating a more equitable and equal society. And I don't need to tell you all about Vision 2030. You are the vision, and you are the product of it. And as you know, today in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, when we talk about the economy and we talk about the inclusion of women, we talk about it as a program that is contributing to the future of this nation. And that's who you are today. As a result of women's participation, the workforce has doubled. And today, more than 300,000 businesses are owned or operated by women. And around 40% of them are small and medium-sized startups. And they are also owned by women. And that's just so wonderful to me. And as you know, the past few years, we've witnessed not only the ability to dream, but to achieve and excel. And that excellence is where I'm so excited to see what comes out of this cohort. Your examples are endless. Every year, the largest number of people who enter pre-college science competitions that take place, it's this, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called ISIF, but I absolutely adore it. We have cohorts of young men and women who come through the United States to compete. This year, we won 27 awards for our young women, and a young lady called Abir Al-Yusuf came in second place in chemistry. The Ministry of Education has done a survey that found over 80% of Saudi girls were interested in STEM. 60% of science graduates are women. This is such a big achievement. It's what other countries would envy. Today, we have Munsha'at programs called Empowering Female Entrepreneurships Program, and that focuses on addressing the obstacles for women entrepreneurs, and it promotes the entrepreneurial mindset in business and to help generate market opportunities. Because as you all know, it's one thing to have the business, but without the market opportunity, it's pointless. What does this all tell us today? Women in STEM, women in innovation, and women in technology, those are sectors that we are not just joining, we're owning them. And I see that that creates a next generation of opportunity. It means you will be the future mentors, you will be the future innovators, and you are the ones that are going to be driving growth of the economy in this country. You're the living proof of everything that Vision 2030 dreamt it could be. And some of you may know that before working in the government sector, I was heavily focused on an organization that I created that focused on the self-sufficiency and financial literacy of women, because I firmly believe that an empowered woman is a woman who makes better decisions, not just for her family, but today for her country and the world. And I believe that a woman who is empowered pushes society forward. Again, programs like the WIN Fellowship focus on women's advancement through executive education, and they foster real life skills and tools. And ladies, I'll repeat this again, real life skills, not theoretical, to help you accomplish what you would like to see as your success. This program for me is a living testimony that with the right tools, and more importantly, the right support network, there's no limits for our women. Exactly like you today, exactly like the women who came in the cohort before you. I remember Rawan al-Magbil. She's a lawyer who became an entrepreneur and took her passion to enhance the learning experiences, and she founded IX Meta. There's Ghada Tuwajri, who founded Kid Stamps because she saw a need to enrich children's lives through entertainment, sports, and education. There's Noura Sadoun, who tapped into the incredible potential of individuals with Down syndrome by creating educational, therapeutic, and social services through an immersive platform called 21 Verse. And these are people who inspire me, not just because they had a vision to create a better tomorrow, but they did something about it. Ladies, it's not enough to dream anymore. You need to action. Education and training today creates an opportunity where women not only reach their goals, but they thrive. And you're a part of this conversation. So to all of you who are paving the way forward, as you continue to carve your niche and make your mark, I really hope that you remember something from me to you. Mentorship is critical. As you continue to rise in your careers, I really hope you don't forget the women who are in the position you're in today, who may just need a piece of advice. They may need a piece of encouragement. You can help make that difference in their careers, just as I hope the women that you become connected through this program help you make the difference. And as you rise to leadership, don't forget, it's not just about the woman on top. It's the woman in the middle. It's the woman who's starting her career. That continuum of us, that's the continuum that makes a difference. That's the continuum that makes the dreamer who's going to buy into your vision, who'll be your customer, who'll be your collaborator, who'll be the one that helps you to thrive and grow. And if you don't see a role model, I've said it before, be the role model. Show young girls what is like, what is possible, what can be, but you're the example. And so with that, I wish you the absolute best of luck. I wish you my sincere congratulations, and I can't wait to see what you do, and we can't wait to talk about you next year. Thank you, ladies.
So much, Your Royal Highness. An empowered woman truly pushes society forward. Thank you so much for these words. And now please help me in welcoming our regional head of marketing, Mr. Ibrahim Zain. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely honored to welcome you all on behalf of PepsiCo today. And thank you for our partners, the Atlantic Council, the US Embassy, and the US Chamber of Commerce in the Kingdom, for all their efforts and collaboration that brings us together. In my almost 2 decades at PepsiCo, I've witnessed an impeccable transformation of business, and I saw and I witnessed the contribution of the Saudi women to that transformation and growth in the past 2 decades. As I stand today, I remember 16 years ago when PepsiCo Saudi announced the first Saudi woman employee in the Saudi offices. That was absolutely a pivotal moment in the progression that opened up the doors for so many Saudi female and women employees to join the force. Today, as we stand at PepsiCo, Saudi women represent 31% of the workforce, and it's growing day by day, each playing a vital role in taking the business and its local impact to the next level. Today, it's estimated that 1/3 of the businesses, new businesses starting, are actually started by women. Yet, until 2022, those businesses only allocated 2% of the capital investment as a startup. Those are the type of issues, those are the type of concerns that we actually tackle in a program like the WIN Fellowship. We want to see real progress towards gender equity, empowering women to become the business leaders of the future, and unlocking incredible potential of our society. We're honored to partner with the Atlantic Council and the US Embassy on this impactful initiative, as we work together to advance women leadership and foster a spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation in the MENA region. And as we launch PepsiCo initiative MENA Innovates, we want to showcase our belief in the power of people, taking chances on them, celebrate them, creating opportunities for them to succeed, and making positive impact on our communities, all at the heart of how we operate. Alongside the WIN Fellowship, PepsiCo is proud champion of initiatives like Tamakkani. Tamakkani works to empower women through career definition opportunities, mentorship, and support for scaling up their ventures. And our ongoing MENA Innovates campaign champions disruptors, innovators, and young talents all around the region through events and programs that cultivates innovations, environmental awareness, and entrepreneurial spirit. For the past 3 years, PepsiCo has proudly supported WIN Fellowship, and we've seen the impact it has made to unlock the potential of women who have participated, setting them on the path of a long-term success. And today, we are gathered to showcase and celebrate some of those most innovative women across the kingdom. I'm personally proud to see these women become role models for the next generations of Saudis, showing what is possible when ambition, opportunities, and support align. As we look towards the future, we continue building on the progress towards Saudi Arabia Vision 2030, which seeks to drive economic and social progress for women across the kingdom. Vision 2030 played a crucial role in creating an environment where women entrepreneurs can thrive, and it's inspiring to see how women-led startups are at the forefront of innovations in many diverse sectors. Today's event is an invaluable opportunity for us to engage in meaningful dialogue on the pivot role of women, the pivotal role that women play in the kingdom, and I look forward to a fascinating and powerful discussion. And most importantly, we are here to celebrate the remarkable women of WIN Fellowship cohorts. You are breaking barriers, reshaping industries, and contributing to the rapid growth of the economy. Congratulations on all your accomplishments so far, and we can't wait to see where this journey takes you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. Joining me for our panel discussion, Rona Halabi, Head of Communications in the Middle East and Head of Corporate Affairs for the Levant at PepsiCo. Alaa Abdel-Aal, Chief of Digital Economy Foresight at the Digital Cooperation Organization. And joining us virtually, Hanaa Maibad, VP for Research at the Arab Institute for Women's Empowerment, NISF. Welcome, lady. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you. And first, actually, I would like to start with So, Digital Cooperation Organization. It's founded to enable digital prosperity for all by accelerating the inclusive growth of the digital economy. What is your vision for an inclusive digital economy? What structural change needs to be made for women's full participation actually in the digital economy?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, Dina. And it's very difficult to speak after her Royal Highness very inspiring keynotes. She is a really inspiring figure to all of us as Saudi women, and I believe as women overall. I really thank you for having us today as me representing the Digital Cooperation Organization. As you have mentioned, we are a recent, only 4 years old organization. And when you tell me about what is my vision about inclusivity and women empowerment, it aligns definitely with the same mission and vision of our organization, which is every person have a very fair opportunity. And we say person here, the focus on every woman, every youth, every child, whether they are in cities, whether they are in rural communities, to have that fair opportunity to be part of the growth of the digital economy. For me personally, it is as a woman and as a leader in the Digital Cooperation Organization, I really feel attached to that mission and vision. And being connected to all our 16 member states, which representing almost 800 million of population, really inspiring to see the diversity in women and what are the challenges that they are facing for them to be part of this digital growth. We are talking about a growth of the digital economy that will be by 2030, 70% of the economy. But then on the other hand, we find that 2.6 million people are disconnected. From them are women, children. So this really raised a very important question. What are we doing? What do we need to change? And not only from a connectivity aspect, having women just connected to the internet is not the solution. We really need to think of the different dimensions that will help empower them. Do they have the right tool? Do they have the right skills? Do they have the right funding and opportunities that are open for them to actually be part? So the structures that need to be changed, a lot. First of all, starting from women themselves, their mindset, them seeing themselves as an important block of the community, and not only an active one contributing in the growth of digital economy. For women not being participating in the digital economy, we are losing around 1 trillion of the GDP, total GDP globally. So imagine if we empower them, if we give them the right from government, if we put the right policies in place, if we put the right incentives, private sector, including them, giving them the right skills, cooperating with government to open the right opportunities, giving them the fund, all of this together will really help in that inclusive vision of the growth of digital economy and having women part of it, an essential part of it, actually.
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, it makes me think of how all these policies have to be data driven and the importance of data for actual and inclusive digital economy, which actually brings me to Hannah. So Hannah, what steps do you think are crucial for fostering innovation and leadership among Saudi women in fields like tech and like research and finance? And how is NIS empowering women in that way as a research institute?
Thank you so much for having me and having me virtually, even if I wasn't able to be in the room with you today, Riyadh. So I feel it's an honor to still be able to participate and represent NISF, the Arab Institute for Women's Empowerment. So, I mean, I think for me as an academic, the first thing that I do, my first instinct is to kind of define terms. And I think it's important to kind of pan out a little bit and think about what innovation really is. And I think, you know, I look to, for instance, the World Economic Forum, and they use the IESE Business School's definition, which is the process of turning new ideas into value in the form of products, services, business models, and other new ways of doing things. And the other thing that they really stress is that it's complex. Innovation is complex and it goes beyond kind of mere creativity and invention, but it actually includes those practical steps that are necessary to actually facilitate adoption of these new ideas and technologies, new developments. They tend to build on previous versions of something, and that really fuels productivity and economic growth. And I think that it's really interesting thinking about our context in Saudi, where this is the time, really. I mean, we've heard now from two speakers how incredibly engaged women are in the startup space. And I think it's important to really kind of harness that, those policies, those changes that have happened, as well as some of the cultural barriers that have been brought down, and think about what we can do. So what NUSF does, and these are things that I think are incredibly essential to getting women kind of in this space, I think of three main things. The first one really is kind of, aside from funding and training, which are necessary, and we can talk about those in more detail, is touch points with industry. So thinking really about engaging with companies, what's actually happening on the ground, so you can identify really clear gaps and maybe clear segments of society that aren't necessarily served. And so those opportunities to engage with industry are essential. And I think that's one thing that we need to really figure out how to do better. It can help us find those underserved communities if we, aren't sure where they are. The second thing is what's happening in this room today. So visibility and representation. And I think that's essential. And this is, one of many events that the Atlantic Council and the WIN Fellowship provide through everybody's support in this room is, looking around the room and being able to see other women entrepreneurs. And finally, and this is very much related, is that mentorship and networking. And those are really, really important. And it's tricky because we say it, we talk about it, but we don't always practice it because it can be really intimidating to go into a room with other people and then talk to them, especially if we don't know them. So ways to really break the ice are really important. And NUSF does this through our programs. We have research that promotes what other people are doing. We do that through a podcast, we do it through leadership talks, but we also do it through bringing women together in training rooms, so you can network while you're learning something. We also have a walk the talk mentorship event that we do around the kingdom, where women in more senior positions are paired up with women who are in more junior positions through kind of smaller touch points, but can continue those relationships. And finally, we work very closely with the charity sector to uplift women who maybe don't have these opportunities to engage in the activities that we do. So yeah, I think these are a few ideas, but definitely have more to say later.
Thank you so much, Anna. And yes, definitely, actually building on that, you find partnerships are at the core of whether it being finding the right opportunities with the industries, creating these networking and mentorship opportunities for women, which actually brings me to Rona. So talk to us maybe about the role of public-private partnerships. We know PepsiCo has a wide range of partnerships when it comes to women empowerment, entrepreneurship, and innovation. So what do you think is the role of that? And how can it leverage like an inclusive environment for women?
Thank you so much, Dina. Good evening, everyone. And also good evening, everyone who is joining us online. Let me start by sharing a personal experience. I have been in Riyadh for a couple of months, and I'm already amazed by the work that the women are doing and also the impact that they have in the workplace. I read a statistic, and it was really impressive, which said that in 2017, there were 17%, I think, women in the workforce. And in 2022, that jumped to 36%. And that's extremely impressive. But I am even more impressed by the women I work with every day at PepsiCo. Some of them are with us here today because they're an inspiration, but also they empower us to do our work. And you see how relationships and building relationships for women is actually very, very important. And that makes a very, very big difference in the workplace. Going back to women entrepreneurs, I think this is very, very exciting topic actually. And I was reading a book the other day about the difference that women are making in entrepreneurship and how they do business. This book, it was talking about how women are changing the rules when it comes to entrepreneurship and the importance that they give not only to relationships, but also to the long-term objectives, as opposed to a short-term gain compared to their men counterparts. Sorry, but that's the statistic. So I think it's very, very important to empower them. And again, they face a lot of challenges compared to their male counterparts. They lack investment. They lack sometimes opportunities to network. Sometimes they lack, the mentorship opportunities. And this is where PPPs come in. I think this is where we need to play a big role. We need to come together as, the private sector with the government, with NGOs and other organizations to bring these opportunities to light, to support the women in these, in their, to face their challenges basically that they're facing. And, one great example of how we're doing this is actually the Mega Green Accelerator. So this is a program that we're doing in partnership with SABIC. The final event is actually happening next week. And it's very exciting to see that 3 out of 8 participants that are now finalists in the program are either founded or co-founded by women. So I think it's very, very important for us to come together and support women more, because the impact that they have, whether in the workplace or as entrepreneurs, is really amazing. And we've already started seeing that.
Thank you so much, Rona. And actually, personally, having worked on program designs, whether here or back in Egypt or like across different jobs, what's very interesting about designing a program is actually identifying that challenge, because as sad as it is that women are facing a lot of challenges in navigating that, but this is where all the help starts from. It always starts from there, which actually what brings me to, and please, I want to hear more on what do you think from DCO standpoint, what do you think are the challenges women are facing there?
Thank you so much. And I would like to emphasize, yes, on one point you have mentioned, it's very inspiring to work on something that is from woman to woman. It has a different flavor. And this is in DCO specifically. Yes, we look at a lot of women from different sectors. They from entrepreneurs, from even sectors in fintech, in medicine, in education. If you really look, you find a lot of different challenges. Some of them goes to, do they have the right infrastructure? Can they be connected? Do they have the right skills? Do they have accessibility to get the right skills? We are in a world where digital is becoming the main component. It is the acceleration point of development. So it is important. They already are facing not having that access to the right courses. We are talking about AI that is really developing quickly. And we don't see a lot of women in STEM yet, not enough. Coming from a very computer science background, yes, I remember the number of accepted female at that stage in the university was way less than now. Now you can see a lot of hope, you can see a lot of engagement, but still, again, it's much more less. And you don't want only women who are educated or purely educated in technology or in information technology, but no, we need women in all sectors that have the right education of technology, because a lawyer can use technology in the right way to empower. A doctor can use technology to make life better. So they need those set of skills. From entrepreneur perspective, we see from our studies, lack of fund for women specifically, the access to the right financials. In addition to the support that they need, what is the right pathway for them. And this is why for us, one of the initiatives that we have worked on, we called We Elevate. We Elevate is an initiative powered by DCO, where we help women transition their regular traditional businesses to e-commerce store or digitalized store. This is enabling them not only to serve local market, but imagine cross-border market to serve global market. It means that we are giving them bigger outreach. Two, we are creating more jobs, because if you are expanding your business, it means that you are opening opportunities for others. And again, we are giving them an opportunity to be part of the digital economy. So we are very lucky to have this initiative, and it's very inspiring to see the number of women who have been enrolled in this in the We Elevate program, and the ones that are taking their businesses to really being digitalized in this world.
Thank you so much, Ara. It's very interesting that the world now has so many opportunities, not just for women, but for everyone. And thanks to organizations like DCO and programs like these, this is why we're actually supporting these women after identifying all those challenges. And actually, Hannah, I wanted to ask you about this. If you happen to see any from this standpoint, what kind of challenges, but more importantly as well, what are the emerging trends? Because I feel like maybe one of the challenges is all the emerging words we hear today. So we have blockchain, we have AI, and we just simply don't know how to start, where to start, and how to navigate these big worlds that are emerging. So yeah, from this standpoint, what are the trends that are emerging, and how can we prepare the women to harness these worlds?
No, I mean, it's a really important question, and it's something that I think a lot of us are struggling to understand, as you mentioned, kind of the terminology, but also what to do with it and the fear around it as well, because, you know, just thinking about adopting a new technology for a lot of people can be really, it can be a scary thing. So I was actually on a panel last year at the Global Labor Market Conference, and LinkedIn reminded me of it this morning. So I was kind of reading this document, which was really specifically talking about how tech is shaping the new generation of work, or people who are in work. And the way we learn and the way we work is changing because of things like generative AI and so on. But I think, again, there's the scary part, but if you put that aside, AI really provides us with incredible shortcuts at work, just from a very practical perspective. You can utilize tech to help you with your branding, with your writing, with your research. If you can learn how to use the prompts better, then that is one kind of tool in your tool belt that is lowering a barrier to entry. So if you were like, I need to find a graphic designer and I need to pay them in order to create a logo to start my company before I can start marketing anything, you can actually design a logo within minutes using AI. And of course, I think it's really important to remember that AI is a great assistant, but a terrible thought leader. And so we really need to be careful not to lose our own credibility by overusing it or using it where we don't need it, or even worse, forgetting to fact check and make sure that it's doing the right thing for us. But I think that tech is, as I mentioned, lowering barriers to entry. And you can start your company because you can use AI to kind of leapfrog and think about where you would actually need to invest the money. So potentially it could be in hiring somebody that will think with you instead of will do kind of some of that busy work for you, or somebody that knows how to use the tech better. So I think, you know, there's so many things, and I just mentioned some of them, but the idea of e-commerce, making it easier to scale, is another thing. So you might have a small business, and, you know, women have been using social media for a very long time to lower the barriers to entry, thinking about taking their businesses online to circumvent transportation or childcare barriers. So tech is going to enable you to do that, but also then to scale. And I think women are very, very close to some very underserved markets, because so much in the world is designed by men. And, you know, one of my favorite books that I always point people to that say, why are we focusing on women when, you know, everybody needs to be empowered? Absolutely, 100%. We believe in a balanced society at NOSFA, and it's a very important thing. But there's a book called Invisible Women by Carolyn Criado Perez. And she just talks about how by default, so many things are designed by men, meaning they're designed kind of for men. And so women can really enter the market in many ways and think about how we can tailor new solutions to things, including, you know, healthcare, education, edutainment, and so on, and also use the fintech space to do this, use online spaces to network. There are a lot of opportunities. And I think that instead of being afraid of it, we really just need to do more to train ourselves and others on how to use it better.
So much, Hannah. And I think we're very lucky tonight that we're joined here and hopefully online as well by the new cohort of the WIN Fellowship, the 2025 cohort, which includes a lot of women who are so ready to maybe design the next world to be designed not just by men, but also by women, for everyone, basically. So,
Yeah.
and that from this year's cohort, a lot of the businesses that we have onboarded are tech-related businesses. So maybe if we can delve a bit deeper into that, and Rona, it brings me to you, as PepsiCo has been supporting the WIN Fellowship for the past 3 years. So how has this been going for PepsiCo, and among other initiatives as well? How is PepsiCo supporting women-led entrepreneurship?
Indeed, thank you, Dina. People are at the heart of what we do at PepsiCo, and WIN actually is a great example of that. We have started this program 3 years ago, of course, with the Atlantic Council and the US Embassy. And, you know, 3 years on, the impact of this program, I think, is just growing and continues to grow. The first 2 cohorts, we had 50 women in total, and now we are through our 3rd cohort with 60 women. And as you said, you know, a lot of them are actually tech startups, which is really amazing because tech is one of these sectors that, you know, we used to see underrepresentation of women in that sector. So this is really amazing. And it's great to also see some familiar faces tonight from fellows of WIN. I think, you know, this is one of the great programs that we're doing, but we also have other programs that we are running to also support women in becoming either, you know, owning their businesses, growing their businesses, taking on leadership roles in the workplace. I can think of Qudwa, for example. This is another program that we have in partnership with the Princess Noura University. And it all falls under Tamakkani, which Brahim mentioned in his opening remarks. And Tamakkani is PepsiCo's commitment to support women. This is the umbrella, and this is our platform aimed at empowering women in Saudi and in the region. So this is just to say that women are very, very important for us at PepsiCo to empower, and we hope that we will continue such partnerships moving forward.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you so much, Rona. And I think maybe to give our attendees, our fellows, our alumni, again, a nice wrap-up of what we've just talked, whether from corporate point of view, from research, from DCO's point of view. How do you think, and this is a question for all of you ladies, how do you think the future of entrepreneurship or women-led entrepreneurship in Saudi look like? And if you can give one piece of advice for all the aspiring ladies within the entrepreneurship ecosystem, what would that be? Maybe we can start with Ale.
Thank you. This is a great question because the future is not just only bright in Saudi. It's already transforming and inspiring. We are already there. Women are conquering Earth, and also we went to outer space. So we are everywhere. We are already there, but we need more. And this cannot happen with each and every one of us. You have to start with yourself. Believing is that you is the key resource, is the key value. No one can stop you. Having that in mind, you will really open a new era for yourself and for your country and for others, because the passion that you have inside you will drive you through any challenge. It's not a very easy road, let's say. We really need to be a reality here, but with the passion that you have, with the how much you are inspired, how much you are committed, we can make it. We all, I'm sure every one of us have a story why you are here. How did we achieve what we have achieved, or what do we want to aspire to achieve? What is making us move is the value of ourselves, the passion that we have. So my advice is to you is to really let that passion lead the way for you to lead, for you to help, for you to empower, for you to shine.
That is very well noted indeed. Rona?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You know, I think and I see that the role of women in Saudi will only continue to grow in the future. And we as PepsiCo, we look forward to continue to be part of that journey to empower women and help them reach their full potential. One advice I think would be for entrepreneurs and startups. I think I would say it's very much in line with what Ella was saying, but I would say don't look for validation. Trust yourself, trust your vision, and don't let anyone tell you you cannot do something. Work towards it, build a support system, which is very, very important, having a support system. And, you know, women need to be supporting each other because we bring each other up. Yeah, believe in yourself, and that's it. Don't look for anyone's validation.
Totally agree.
True that. Thank you, Rona. Hannah, if you can close with you tonight.
Well, I agree with, of course, both of my co-panelists. And I think I'd add to that is keep yourself uncomfortable. Put yourself into situations that stretch you beyond where you want to be, because that's where growth truly happens. And, you know, I do truly believe that the network is important, and that is not always a comfortable place to be, is building your network and building new relationships. So surround yourself. I guess it's a kind of a cliche quote, but surround yourself with people who would say your name in a room full of opportunities. Make sure that you have your tribe, your people with you, supporting you, around you. And just continue to grow by putting yourself out there in places where you're not sure you belong, but you actually inside know that it's the right place for you, because you will find growth and you will find progress in that. And staying within your comfort zone is not going to help you achieve greater heights. So that would be my last bit of advice. But it's definitely the right time to be in this space. You know, more power to everybody that is embarking on an uncomfortable journey.
Thank you so much, Hannah. And thank you again, ladies, for sharing the invaluable thoughts. I've personally taken so many mental notes right now. So thank you. I think we have some time for some questions. You want to open the floor for some questions? Can you get some help with the mic? Do you have any questions? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Iman Al-Haji, and thank you so much for such an insightful discussion. You mentioned that there is about 1 trillion of GDP globally that could be if women are more empowered. I feel like this number is a bit underestimating. I don't know if you could give me more insights. Is it within only the digital economy or within the entire economy?
Yes, it is within the entire economy. It's about the GDP. Yes, definitely. Those are rough numbers provided by different organizations. Again, the point of the number itself to highlight that there is a lost opportunity. And we need to really, it's not about achieving a higher GDP rather than achieving a more inclusive world where there is everyone is contributing to that opportunity. If we focus on that and looking at, yes, there is a loss, then we can start putting the right plan in place to really make sure that every woman, whether she's in a city or in a remote place, whether she has a very solid education or not yet, they have the fair opportunity to contribute.
And I'm sure for the case of Saudi Arabia, if we look at it 10 years ago and today, the percentage is so huge in women's participation in economy. And we look forward to further thriving society.
Definitely, definitely. As I said, the future is bright, but more brighter and transform. Yeah, and really, you see the full potential of being having more opportunities for women.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ella. Thank you. I think we had another question. Yes, at the back. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to the panel. A lot of what you said resonated with me. My name is Bex, and I have been very fortunate to be in Saudi now for almost 4 years, and I work for a Saudi organization. And I suppose I just have a couple of points, and hopefully I don't waffle too much. Firstly, last year I was very fortunate to be, as part of AmCham, selected to be a mentor as part of a program with Blanchard. And I mentored she was young for me, I was old enough to be her mother, but I would say she was late 20s, the most fantastic young Saudi professional in a very male-dominated international construction firm. But she wanted to explore how she could develop her creative mind. And we didn't just talk about her work, we talked about her life, her family, her friends, her tribe, and how to really get to where she wanted to be. And she's now in that place, which is fantastic, with a great job. In my workplace, I'm being pushed out of my comfort zone, which again, the panel said, in terms of the fear of AI absolutely terrifies me. I work in the security industry, and it is evolving so fast with technology. 2 weeks ago, a new Saudi female, she joined our team. She's a new mother. She's mid-30s, so not only did she have to get used to now saying goodbye to her baby every day at nursery, she was starting a new job, finding her own way, and she has motivated me at 20 years into my career to push my boundaries, and I'm really grateful for her. And she's actually highlighting others, male and female, in my company who are perhaps not always time efficient. So good for her, and I will champion her all the way. My question, do you think the advancement of technology and digitization, and I suppose it's to the Saudi ladies in the audience, do you think that could negatively impact the development of the softer skills, which sometimes are the harder skills to learn? How to be in a meeting with men, how do I approach them? The things that some can take for granted. Do I shake their hand? How should I sit? Should I look at them? Some of the really basic things. Same for me if I'm in a meeting with male counterparts. So do you think the advancement of digitization can have a negative effect on such special ladies who are now really trying to put themselves out there professionally in the most positive way? Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Ladies, can I maybe? Go ahead, please.
I mean, sure. I think possibly, but I don't think so. Like, that's not my first thing. I think that we definitely, AI is here to stay and tech is here to stay. And I think that we need to figure out how best to utilize it. And I think I mentioned that before. I mean, I worked in a company as a manager. I managed a team of mostly men and women, but a lot of men on my team when I was working in Saudi back in 2010, 11, 12, and I had a baby at home. And it was that dance. Do I shake the hand? Do I not? And this was before we had the tech. And we figured it out because, you know, sometimes you can just be very explicit about things. So one of the guys in the company would walk into the room and be like, I don't know who shakes hands and who doesn't. And he would just kind of put his arm out there. And if a woman wanted to shake his hand, she would. If she didn't, he, you know, would just kind of laugh it off. And I think that those human skills will always be there if we're in a room together. And on a digital screen, you don't necessarily need it. So it's not going to take that away. But I think that the more we are present in different spaces, and this is my experience in that position back in the day, many years ago, I'm aging myself, the more we put ourselves in these rooms together, the more we are able to navigate that. And I think that there are now more opportunities than there have ever been for these spaces to be merged, where women and men are occupying the same space and they are communicating with one another. And the tech is just there. It's complementing it, but we're still having our conversations in our day-to-day. I do still think that we have to figure out how to use it in the best way possible, because now that you're in these spaces, you also, you know, there are uncomfortable situations where you might not want to be seen doing one thing or speaking on, you know, without your abaya on here or whatever. But you just need to, I think, be put in the position again, stretch your comfort zone, be in those places and figure out what is comfortable and right for you. And I think there's just more touch points and more available opportunities to do that. So I would say let's embrace the tech, use it to our advantage as much as possible.
Thank you. And I think you had some thoughts you wanted to share earlier.
I don't disagree with what Hannah said. I think at the end, it's a balance, like everything in life. And it's not only impacting women's soft skills. I think we always have that questions. Even me, I have 4 kids, always wondering, is technology really pushing them away from playing outside or staying at home? So it's not only for women. It's a question that everyone is looking for that right answer. The impact of technology on the well-being of a human overall. Would it impact soft skills? Yes and no. Again, it's the matter of having the right balance. And as Dina said, it's finding how to use the technology in the right way. AI can really help you to focus on the more important things rather than spending your efforts in, for example, something that can be automated quickly. So again, I think with AI, and you hear that a lot, would AI replace human? Would AI have that displacement of jobs? I think we are creating AI as humans. So no, it will never replace us as human. But I think it will help us elevate our skills to be more efficient, to really focus on what is important, and even from a soft skill perspective. And overall, going to Rona's point, always as women, we have to be confident to assert ourselves, to show ourselves whether what is our boundaries, what is important for us, what do we want to show, whether through technology or even in person. At the end, we set where we want to go, and we set how other respects us and looked at us, and the other way around. So I hope that provided you the answer that you were looking for.
Rona, I think you wanted to share.
Yeah, just very quickly, I totally agree with Ella. I think the question is not about how this is impacting women specifically. It's really about how it's impacting all of us, including children, including men. But if we are talking about soft skills specifically, I'm really not worried about women. From my experience and what I see around me and the engagements that I have with women, women really care about relationships. Men are more results driven. So in that sense, I feel like maybe we have a role as women to actually create that space where we can actually engage better in the workplace and be the good example that we can show to our men colleagues, if I may say. Because again, when we do business, we really care about relationships. We care about what other people think and feel. So I'm really not worried about women in that sense, to be honest. But that's only my personal opinion.
And without technology, we wouldn't have today Her Royal Highness, we wouldn't have Dina. So, and you can see how their messages are just coming to the heart directly. So I think it is enhancing our skills because it's very difficult to talk to a camera, actually.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for your time. This has been very, very insightful, I'm sure, for everyone, and inspiring as well. Thank you for your time. And I think now I shall give the floor to Noor. We will have to listen to our fellows now. We'll listen from them and from their experience in real life. So Noor Saadoun, CEO of 21 Save, please. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I'm not supposed to be here alone. I'm expecting to both Ghaida and Rohan. Yes, hi. So good evening, everyone. So honored to be here today. I'm super excited to be moderating this session, although I'm a little bit worried because I keep coughing. So just a disclaimer, if you saw me tearing up or coughing a lot, I'm not dying. It's just my asthma is not doing well today. Unless I was turning blue, please call 911. So I'm very honored to be sitting across of a room full of leaders and figures that actually have an impact. But I'm also happy to be meeting both young individuals who graduated last year from the WIN Fellowship. And it's not just because, oh, let's celebrate women, but I just want to remind everyone in the room, 10 years ago, women was part of a problem. And people were sitting around the room and saying, how can we solve this issue? How can we make women more active? How can we allow women to drive? How? But today we're sitting and we're witnessing women who are actually bringing solutions. And our question is not how can we make them better, but how can we make more of them? So I'm honored to be introducing both Rawan Al-Mikbil and Ghaida Al-Tuwajri. I think Her Royal Highness did an amazing introduction, and I cannot even go after her because she already introduced them, but I'm just going to repeat it again. Rawan Al-Mikbil is a serial tech entrepreneur who's leading the charge in VR training. Your company is Innovation X. From career in law, steering in multiple, and then you moved to steering multiple innovation projects. You've been instrumental in bringing groundbreaking technologies into the industry. I know that you won many awards, and I also met her last week randomly at Crazy Pizza, and I think we have a meeting next week to discuss about her project. And I also have Ghaida Al-Tuwajri, who blends best of the corporate and entrepreneurial world. She's the CEO and co-founder of KidStamp. She's making waves in technology-driven educational tools, very inspiring, while also leading in one of the biggest projects, which is Munshaat. And this is something that we need to talk about after. She's full of passion and she's deeply committed to inspiring others, playing a pivotal role in the role of Kingdom and Vision 2030. So without further ado, welcome you both in the room. And I want to start with an introduction on what is your startup or what's your company and what is the core value of it?
So hi, everyone. As Noor mentioned, my name is Ghaida Al-Tuwajri. My startup is called Kids Stamps. It's all related to kids activities and summer camps. I had this passion since I was 7 years old. I know it's funny because I have 5 younger brothers, which I helped my parents to raise them. So this has been my passion throughout the years. I've been reading books, seeing benchmarks. So after I graduated from high school, well, what my dream was in high school is to have my own nursery, as I tried to check nurseries back then with my 2 little brothers who are now are adults already. So I saw the demand, the high demand of nurseries. So my dream was to have the logic of technology throughout my degree in information system from Prince Sultan University. Afterwards, I started to think and establishing the nursery, and then I discovered why shouldn't I start something more innovative? That it's not common in Saudi Arabia, which was the pop-up concept. So we, as Kids Stamps, we do pop-up activities, collaborating with different schools, collaborating with restaurants regarding one-day activities, cooking classes, mommy and me, daddy and me, and a lot of activities that I don't want to waste your time now with it. But our future dream is to expand within products, a lot of services, and hopefully, inshallah, a nursery.
Noor, thank you so much for your introduction. Good to see you again. First, I would like to just say congratulations for the WIN Fellows for 2024. I think it's a fantastic program and really great job for being accepted. We're here to support in any way possible for you. So just to give a brief description to what we do here at Innovation X, or let's call it IX Meta. In simple words, we utilize the latest technologies of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality to, let's say, transform the training content into an immersive training. Doing that, we allow people to just wear the VR headset, be placed in an environment that looks like, the regular life that mirrors, let's say, their factory, operation room. They can train on a simulation, that's a 3D simulation. They can see the trainer anywhere around the world, and then they can walk them through operating the device, turning the device, assembling this device. Doing that, we don't only reduce the cost of training, we in fact, enhance the skills. We provide a safe environment for people to train where it's not always safe. That's what we do at IX Meta.
Well, both of you have amazing products and solutions, to be honest. But I want to bring the attention of everyone here that every entrepreneur have an aha moment. And usually, because you came from a law background, what made you go from being, I want to be a lawyer or a judge, to, yes, I want to have a creative solution using XR? I'll start with Ruan.
Okay, so actually it was back in Corona times when I decided to, leave 7 years of a high paid job to doing something completely new for me, build a company with zero investment, zero back, support, nothing. Because I saw how technology literally saved us at the Corona times. We were able to continue our jobs. We were able to continue school. We were able to connect with our families. I just realized that we have so much, to do in the tech world, and I wanted to be part of something that, changes people's life in the worst times possible. That's the aha moment when I saw that, me speaking to my mom. I was back in Dubai. I wasn't living in Riyadh, and I was speaking to everyone in the family, and I just realized that, wow, how can a person really help the community by doing something with technology, especially in the hardest times? So this is when I decided to just leave the lawyering, boring job to something, doing something crazy. But to be honest with you, Noor, if I look back, I still think that it's probably a side effect of a vaccination that I took at that time, because doing something so crazy, I'm sure I have to study the effect of the vaccines.
But
and the decision making.
I'm sure your background did help you to be the person you are today. And I go to you, Ghaida, because you mentioned mentioned that you having siblings has inspired you.
Yeah.
So what was your aha moment and where are you now?
Well, the funny thing is, as Rawan mentioned, COVID too, because I used to take a yoga training for kids, yoga certificate. So I was taking online courses in COVID. And then through Snapchat, I was taking videos of me doing yoga at home. And one of my friends told me that her sister is doing a virtual camp to her kids and their friends. And suddenly she said, can you contribute in doing yoga for them for free? And then I used to do it before starting my work. I used to be an employee with Takamul. So I was enjoying that. I did Zumba for them, wearing a Superwoman outfit. So I was very innovative in doing such thing within COVID. So I said, why don't I do something between, or is going to be a big step to, I should sacrifice my corporate job, which is not a very hard decision as much as it's I need a certain time to learn more from the corporate experience. So I said I should do the pop-up while doing my corporate, and it's been now 4 years. We achieved a lot. It was crazy, but it's alhamdulillah, I'm so proud of what we achieved as a team. And also another funny thing, I met Rawan within Munshaat. Mashallah, she was one of the best startups we have. Pleasure, isn't it?
So inspiring. And both of you are in the field of technology, and we know that technology is not static. The evolution of technology is moving faster than we are expecting, especially that COVID has really sparked the rapidness of human dependency on these applications, and how can we integrate more of these innovative solutions to enable us in our day-by-day life. So both of you are young, and both of you probably have time, but how can you make sure that you're on top of these new emerging technologies, making sure that you're aware of the changes, and how, and this is a very important question, how are you so confident of your solution that it will be sustainable while there's so many other solutions that comes and competes? Can we start with you, Haida?
So regarding technology, now we are in a generation or a century that everything is changing within a blink of eye. So you need to be updated within seminars, subscribing with the big or the updated journals, websites, attending every single seminar or event. It's very hard, but it's never that complicated. You just need to be connected. You need to be with mentors, with entrepreneurs in your field, and even if your business doesn't require technology side, you should embed that in it, because we are, as Rawan mentioned, technology is everything nowadays, and within the AI and everything is coming up, we should be up to date with technology within all channels.
So I think when it comes to immersive technology, especially this field that we are in, it's relatively new in the market. So if we don't innovate, we usually don't grow. So let me give you just an example. We created a virtual reality art classroom where students can just draw in a limitless space without the boundaries of the physical world. They can choose and select any brush, any shape, any size, any color. So when we did this to one of our clients, Ma'arif Education, and we hand them the project, one of my team members, or let's say the emerging technology specialist here, Sheikh Al Abdsalam, is one of the audience, she told me, what about doing the VR art classroom and create an animation version of it? I'm not, in tech that much. So she's the one in tech. So I said, how can that be possible? So she's like, yeah, there's a new technology. And not only this, how can we link blockchain where students can actually trade as an NFTs, their painting. So we went to our clients and we suggested the idea. They were really amazed and they came back. They wanted more from us. And this is, I believe, how we can stay, how we can grow and how to stay relevant is by, thinking how can you improve your product by the current technologies around that product.
I'll actually tap on that because funny that you mentioned Sheikha. I'm probably older than they are, and I don't want to even give out my age, but I came to the new technologies of AI, metaverse and XR, and and I came from a medical background. I didn't stop myself and I said, no, I'm not going to learn this. This is hard. I was actually alongside with Sheikha, we went to, and I was the oldest lady in the room in Twig Academy, where everyone is just bachelor degree. And here I am, like 20 years later after bachelor degree, still learning. So it is important for us to continue to learn and train. But this brings me back to a question where we know the industry of technology is majorly dominant by men. How are you competing? Because there is no such thing called women club. There is always men club. And us in Saudi Arabia, this men club is even more discreet. So how are you competing to become part of this industry and to make sure that you're actually being very well known and feasible?
So we're lucky that we are in Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. We are in the women's era, I think. A lot of government and non-government, even private sector, are focusing on empowering women, whether in high positions, empowering them with courses, whether with masters and name it. Yani we have a lot of potential growth for the women in our industry, whether in the technology industry, education, investment, and this will help us a lot to grow, to connect. And one of the things was the program. I think if we didn't have that past-based era, we wouldn't have such programs as WIN Fellowship. So I think I'm not afraid of the competition. We can't grow alone without men competing or having them on our side. They are at the end our parents, our fathers, our brothers, and so on.
Trust me, Noor, I'm not afraid of the competition because in the ground, especially in the ecosystem, looking at our brothers, obviously, the founders of technologies and such, we look back at our team and 90% of my team are female, women in tech. And I know what they do and I look at the solution around me and I know that there's no way no one is going to compete in this domain, in the VR, industry like what we do. Especially when I sit and I'm just interviewing, I'm joining this employment forum and then I'm sitting and every time a female sits, I can see the hunger, I can see the knowledge. I'm like, yeah, that's what we want in our team. I think if we want to compete with men, we need to hire more women so that when we form a fantastic company, a fantastic product, it's not really about gender. It's about what we present to the clients and the solutions that we bring to the table.
Oh, I'm so inspired. I feel like I now are going to go for a run. So we know how Saudi Arabia is positioning itself to become a global hub when it comes to innovation and technology. And as much as we're happy to see all of these advancements, there is still that struggle of, whether it was regulation or to ensure that there is a secure translation of technology into the market. So because, most of the entrepreneurs here are also building products, in your opinion, what is the biggest issue that they need to be aware of when it comes to the innovation ecosystem in Saudi? And what solutions that you've been trying to put on to pave the way for others?
So regarding innovation, I think nowadays is mandatory in every sector and in every organization. So it's very easy to be up to date with innovation. And my advice to you guys is to always look at the things you have in the country, whether, as I mentioned before, seminars, events, because you always, as an entrepreneur, you feel that you are alone, you are stuck, you're only thinking that way, and you can't find your soulmate in the, as another CEO in the same field. So you can always have solutions. You can always have support with mentors, with other entrepreneurs. And also, as an employee in Munshaat, we have an event called Biban. It's only focused for SMEs. I don't know if you have heard of it. They provide workshops, seminars, guidance, even Munshaat departments for finance, everything you can imagine, you can find there. So as I mentioned before, alhamdulillah, we are in our prince's era.
I would maybe just add to what Ghaida says here. Just stay close to the government entities, these programs, because they always announce the new regulations. And if you're staying close to Munshaat, for example, or NTDP, Sadaya, for example, look at the regulations regarding AI, regarding technology in general, privacy, and so on. As you read and as you educate yourself, you know what's allowed and what's available so that you can build there. That's my advice.
Well, I'll end with one last question since there is the new batch of WIN Fellowship. How did the program help you? And if you were to advise them to grasp something and you feel like you haven't tapped on it, what would you say to your fellows?
Okay. With the WIN Fellowship is literally a transformative program. I really, I remember back in like a year ago, it was a fantastic journey. I met Ghaida over there. I met a lot of women who are my friends right now. Probably online, maybe they are seeing us. I have Rana. Rana was supposed to be here as well. Rana Batarji, and I have Noor, Dr. Noor, who's building a fantastic program called Tawasuli. So this network of women, especially the entrepreneurs who are from the same region, they share with you the same struggle, especially that entrepreneurship is a lonely place. You know, let's face it. No one understands you as an entrepreneur but an entrepreneur. And women, especially if you're a woman, no one understands your problems like a woman, especially in this region. So building this network of friends and people who you can just chat with and speak with. Every time I'm with the WIN Fellows, we end up sharing, you know, contact. Hey, speak to this person. Make sure you attend this event. And we're always sharing advices on how to, you know, tackle problems. So this, you know, network and support group, like what was mentioned by the woman before us here, is that when you create this group of support, then you're really unstoppable. So the best thing that I gained from the WIN Fellowship is the network, the WIN Fellows themselves, the friendship that I had with those women. You cannot put a price on that. And obviously, the knowledge that we had, the roadshow, I'm sure you are aware of the roadshow, is one of the toppest thing that you have to look forward to attend. So I think in general this is the network, the friendship that you gain, the knowledge. It's something that I really hope to hear back from you guys in your in this 2024 program.
So as Rawan mentioned, it was amazing that we have almost 30 females from Saudi Arabia having the same journey and growing together. I think it was an amazing experience. We took a knowledge and exercises that was way beyond what we are used to it. Especially it was out of Saudi Arabia, so different angle of learning curve. Also, the connection, it was very different. I used to take, I'm one of the graduate for MISC Launchpad. It was amazing, but it was a different program. So learning from different programs was amazing experience. I highly recommend it, and I wish they promote it more because not every female in Saudi Arabia, they know about the program. So thank you.
Well, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Behind every successful story, there's a woman. And behind every innovation is someone who's actually passionate to create these solutions. So please, a round of applause before we take this floor for questions. لأنه honestly, I'm so inspired by your age and project.
Thank you.
Questions? You have a question? So until they get the mic, I actually wanted to ask you both because you're young. You have friends. People are telling you, okay, there is so much to do later. How can you balance your life? Because as you said, it's a lonely life to be an entrepreneur. How can you balance your life with, your business, your family? The world is happening around you. Everything in Riyadh is booming. Like you feel like there's a new area that you need to discover. How are you able to balance out focusing on your business, which is your baby, but also on your family and friends in life?
Nor there is no balance. If someone is going to tell you that you can balance your life when no, there's no balance. It's lonely. Sometimes it's miserable. You know what I mean? So please, before you enter this entrepreneurship, you have to understand that you cannot have it all. And I'm sure as women, we want to have it all. You have to be at peace with your choices. If you're entering this because you have a fantastic dream, and this dream is making you miss all of those events because you don't care, this is the only thing that wakes you up in the morning, the only thing that makes you keep going, then this place is for you. But if you want to attend the wedding, and if you want to attend the graduation, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not going to be a time for it.
It is lonely, Ghaida.
So for me, here is my parents. They came today as my father is an entrepreneur. He used to be like an engineer and
الله يعطيهم الصحة والعافية.
آمين يا رب. So I learned the entrepreneurship and coping with the corporate job from my father. And I'm the only daughter between boys, so they told me, you don't need to do that. You just stick to your job. And they told them, this is my dream. And when they saw me tired and my eyes are in dark circles, as Rawan mentioned, it's very hard, but when you see the result, when you see the feedback, when you see that you are achieving, it's the best feeling ever. One of the things that you should keep in mind that there isn't a deadline. There is no deadline. Please make sure that you know that, because this had me in a very high stress position, that I always feel that there is a deadline. I should, you're missing out. I need to be in my corporate job as a manager and in my business to reach out to this number. There isn't a deadline. We are doing good. And you shouldn't be hard on yourself. Because if you want to succeed, you should have in a good health. You should keep your connection with your parents, with your friends. Enjoy life. Life is too short. And if you're in a good mood, you're going to achieve a lot. So your health is first.
Well, Ghaida Rawan, you actually mentioned something very important. There is no deadline. No matter who you are, where you come from, your age, there is always time for you to create something. There is always time for you to join something. If we keep, being scared that we're missing out, or if we compromise this for over that, the internal struggle that you're going to have will actually forbid you from enjoying anything, not even the product that you're trying to work on. So yes, there's no deadline. Live day by day, try your best, and trust me, you will get what you want just by being patient. We'll go for the question in the back.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rawan and Ghaida, and also Noura. This is Huda Fallata. I have a startup in robotics and education technology. At the same time, I have a master's degree in management. So I'm really proud of you both, Rawan and Ghaida. Really, you did a great job and good startup. So my question actually is, there is two parts in my questions. So I'm really interested to know how you can securing more deal with the government and organization, and you still in startup and small business. Uh, I know there is a lot of challenging, and how did you plan to address to solve this gap? So if you can just tell me the process you move through it through your startup. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, here's a secret. No one knows we are a startup. So when we show up, we don't show up as a startup because there's still a stigma around the world startup. Although this term is the reason why we are raising in our economy, and there's a reason why we have a thriving economy. But when we sit in the table with any government officials, they see a big army of people. And that's how you should represent yourself. So it's really about who you are. How confident can you be when you sit and say to this person, I can build a solution for you, when they see the confidence that you have. And obviously, when you trust the team around you and you know you have a team, even if you don't have a team, even if you are a solo entrepreneur, if you sit on a table and you represent yourself and your vision and your company good enough, no one will think that you're small. No one will know how many people that you have. So don't lie, just fake it until you make it, and then just have this confidence, and then you will get the deal. If you're good, if you actually have enough information, especially government entities, they don't care if you're a woman, if you're a man, if you're a big team or not. If you're here to solve a problem that they have, and you talk about this problem and you produce real solutions for that problem, they will get you this task or job or contract.
Ghaida.
So as Rawan mentioned, confidence is everything, but another part is, especially in my sector, the kids industry and the schools, you need to always be prepared and to have the confidence that you're focused on a specific stream. So don't be hesitated to tell them that we are focusing on this, but we can do more. So I think focusing, being confident, planning, preparing for the meetings, connections is everything. So, I wanted to add one more thing in general. Like for non-Muslims, we have in our religion that if you have deep belief or faith that you can, your connection with God is everything. So if you have this connection, no matter what you're going through, this is the best thing you can get. And this can let you see the light in the tunnel. So trust God and enjoy the journey.
Having faith, indeed. Any other question?
As one of the few males here, I felt like I should speak. In 2017, I was working for the Ministry of Defense and the TMO office, which some of you guys may be familiar with, the Transformation Management Office. I had a female interpreter. We had a meeting there. I needed an interpreter. I put her on the list to bring her in, and they told me, oh, we've never had a female in this office before. I'm like, well, this is my interpreter. So bottom line, this is who I'm bringing, Saudi female. She was the first female in the office, in the transformation office in 2017. Now you go in the transformation office, I couldn't count the number of females that's there. So, I mean, change is coming. It's not going to be easy, but the one thing I will tell you, in any country, organization, industry, whatever, it's like a chain, and it's only as strong as its weakest link. And when you use exclusion and cut people out of that industry or cut people out of that organization, it weakens the chain. So by cutting females out of organizations or whatever, you're really hurting yourself, and you're hurting your own organizations, because you're bringing in weaker links, and weaker links break a chain. That's all I got.
Thank you. Indeed, like we actually agree with you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. I will ask the questions just to maybe have a time to think about it. First question is, what was the goal exactly in your mind when you started? So how did you imagine it for you, for yourself? And what was exact, you were trying to become famous, you were trying to have professional realization. What was in your mind, if it is not a secret, when you started? And the second question is, how much do you rely on yourself, on your decision, on your vision in your current business? Because a lot of people around consulting, mentors will of course give advices, something happening around in the market, in environment. How much in percentage or in any other style of reply do you rely on yourself in your entrepreneurship journey? And meanwhile, I would like to introduce myself and thank to Ravan. I'm a new Saudi, originally Ukrainian, and now I'm a participant in Miss Launchpad. So I'm kind of at the start of this journey, and thank you very much, Ravan, for inviting here. And I would like to say that Ravan is an amazing mentor. We had only one facilitation session, after which I immediately built the timeline and started to move. So thank you for this impulse, for encouragement, and of yourself and of all amazing speakers today and participants. So if you allow me to go back to my questions, I would repeat: what was your goal? How did you imagine it for yourself, and how much do you rely on yourself in your current business? Thank you.
So the first question regarding how did we start, as I mentioned, not only because of my baby brothers, because sometimes you have to start your business by passion or by the need of the sector or market. So for me, it was a passion, and I love kids so much. So I wanted something fun, loving. And then when I started the business, it didn't look like that, because you have parents, you have schools, you have a lot of stakeholders in the business. Then I started to not only see it as a passion, it was like an revenue stream. It was also a continuous journey to have, like, from kids stamps to the nursery to another thing, another business. So when you are in the entrepreneurial mindset and you dig deep in that, you're going to enjoy every single stage in it. And regarding the other question, if I understood that, because I didn't hear well, regarding what kept you going. So having the delegation is very important. So don't think that you are going to do everything. It's impossible, and you're not going to succeed. You're not going to grow. So delegate. If your business is per project or temporary, as our business as a pop-up, so you can deal with part-time workers, freelancers. There are a lot of governmental websites that you can use to let you connect with people. So it's hard, but once you are, you know the things you're missing or the things that keep you improving, it's going to be easy. It's just a matter of time until you're standing settled.
Ghalia is building a fantastic data analysis company, and I think soon you will hear about her product. To answer you with my complete honesty, the first thing I wanted was to have a lot of money. And if that's not your goal, especially starting in something that's very difficult, you might stop at the end of the game. Because yes, I agree with you, Ghaida, passion is important, but eventually you will lose the passion because it's very tiring. But as I meet with my clients, especially government entities, especially representing something that could change our economy, could change the way we train and upskill ourselves, my vision changed, and the team's vision is also different now, which is mainly help government entities and private sector achieve their mandate in Vision 2030 by giving them the technology that they need. So that's what I have for you.
So a better way to say is like whatever product you have, even if it's something you think is simple, try as much as possible to make it as valuable, as profitable as possible to be part of the economy to ensure its sustainability. And I'll be mindful of time because I know that we went over time, but I wanted to thank these beautiful young ladies because they're not just inspiring me, they're also inspiring the newer generation that are going to come and say, well, if they did it, we can do it. And I believe that every single person in this room actually have impacted the Vision 2030 and have something. You think maybe it's small, but it's actually doing a lot. And the replicative effect of it by you sitting here, ignoring the Riyadh festival that everybody now is enjoying. We're here in the room discussing how can we make Saudi Arabia a better place? How can we utilize the strength of women who's not just half, probably more than half of the society here in Saudi Arabia. And it's such an honor to be sitting next to you ladies and following your footstep. Although I say I'm older, but there's no tap or deadline, as we said earlier. So thank you so much. And I thank the Council and the WIN Fellowship Management team for bringing us today. And have a good night.